Welcome back to Extra Time. Shep the analyst, Jason the producer, I'm Greg the host. Act 3 pivotal games. A couple of really big matchups this weekend. Mid-season, trying to establish yourself in the positions that you are. Houston at Seattle, 1 versus 3. Houston really trying to cement that spot at the top of the West, whereas Seattle, again, trying to push and be one of those competitive ones. Jason, how's this one going to play out?
Well, the matchup for me that I want to see is Montero and Lundberg attacking at the Houston defense. No secret that Houston's defense isn't the quickest in the league.
That's true.
And when Montero and Lundberg and Jaquar are moving the ball, they move it quickly. They're very crafty, off the dribble. So I think that that's going to pose a problem for Houston's backline.
I hate to agree with Jason, but I think quickness is a factor. But there are two kinds of speed: physical speed and quick mind, thinking quickly. So I like Seattle. I think as this season goes on, they're going to have even more of a home field advantage. But Houston is a savvy team. I think they'll adjust.
Well, that's the thing I thought about when you just said about mental quickness. I think that this back four, yes, they're not the fastest people in the world running, but they're all very mentally quick. They're going to push high. They're going to apply pressure in the midfield as well. And I think that they are smart enough and have enough organization that they can deal with those guys. Now, the tough thing, as you brought it up, is playing at Seattle. I mean, that home advantage is huge for them.
Great. And as the season goes on, I think the advantage grows, and guys like Freddie Montero, Lundberg are getting adjusted to playing with each other. I think it's going to be a tough game.
There's a space in the back for Seattle with no Tyrone Marshall. You have a guy like Kai Kamara on the other side, big, can find spaces and can finish. That's going to be dangerous for Seattle. That's one thing that they're going to certainly have to worry about. Now, over in the East, you also have a 2-3 matchup, Columbus at Chicago. We've talked about Chicago's struggles at home so many times. Columbus, they worked really hard against a better DC team to get the point last week. Can Chicago beat Columbus at home?
It should be a great game, but Chicago, a little bit of an enigma for me in that they play better on the road. You would think with the veteran leadership they have, McBride and Blanco, they should be able to establish themselves at home. I want to see them do it.
Well, they have all that talent, but they never seem to have that killer instinct. And that's the thing that when I watch them, I miss. I wonder, where is that killer instinct? You've got great competitors like McBride and Blanco. Why aren't they imposing themselves to say, guys, we need to get the 3 points. Let's finish this off.
They seem to have, they attack in waves almost, and they'll get up, and if it goes well, like it did in Colorado, all of a sudden they're up 2-0, and then they kind of backed out, and there was a real, more of an ebb than a flow for a long time. And I think they need to get just consistency in their attack so that they're possessing the ball and they don't get a lead and then all of a sudden start dropping off and clearing long balls, not possessing. That sort of became a problem for them in the second half against Colorado.
Well, the reigning champs are coming in, Columbus. They fought well last week to get that point against DC. It should be a great game, Columbus at Chicago, but it's not going to be able to match the biggest game of the weekend, the SuperClasico. LA at Chivas USA, which means the GOATs are at home for this one. This is a huge game, I think, especially for Los Angeles. Right now, they're outside of the playoff zone. They've shown that they can get results. They've got 2 consecutive 1-0 wins against Houston, a good team. Okay, New England was banged up, maybe not as big a win for that in that one, but this is an LA team that is trying to prove that they belong as a competitor in the West. They get David Beckham back next week, so this is their last chance, really. Shep, it's the SuperClasico. Are they going to be able to beat Chivas?
Yeah, I think this is a pivotal game in the season for all the reasons you just alluded to. David Beckham in the house, the great anticipation of Beckham the following week playing with Landon Donovan, but you got to get a result. You're on the bubble, you're climbing up, and Chivas, not a manufactured rivalry. LA Galaxy, they have to find a way to get a result.
You guys, I feel like we're forgetting about Chivas was the golden child of the league for so long. They were
very true.
Head and shoulders above everyone. Now they're not even in first in the West. So to say that it's so important for LA and not important for Chivas, I think Chivas needs to prove to themselves that they're still in this and that they're still a contender.
They can turn it around.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's true. A couple weeks ago, it was Preki all the time. Preki this, Preki that, Chivas this, Chivas that. But what's not working for Chivas right now?
I think it's mid-season doldrums for some of the new players. They're hitting a little bit of a valley. And plus, I don't think they have ever replaced Ante Razov. They compensated in the beginning of the year. Razov, one of the greatest goal scorers in the history of the league. So Precky's done a wonderful job. Zach Thornton has been unbelievable in goal, but you know, I don't know what they were doing it on, and we question how are they getting the results. We're finding out now.
The SuperClasico is on Saturday night at 11 p.m. It's actually on Fox Soccer Channel, nationally broadcast. And as Shep mentioned, David Beckham will be in attendance before joining the team for the big game next week when he returns to play at New York. Lots to talk about on next week's show about Beckham's return and the controversy with Landon Donovan. Lots to talk about on your Twitter as well, aren't there? Isn't there, Jason?
Yeah, I guess so. Jason, ET producer. You can find me on Twitter. I'll keep you up to date on what's going on in the show.
Hey, forget Twitter. There's a big film festival in New York, Greg.
That's true. There's a lot going on with soccer in New York next week. The Kicking and Screening Soccer Film Festival, www.kickingandscreening.com. It should be great. Lots of movies, lots of soccer stuff. Shep will be a special guest at one of the events, so definitely check that out and come out for some of those nights. That's all we have for you this week on Extra Time, but next week on Monday, we have a very special show. 3 p.m., the three of us will be here to announce the All-Star First 11. Be sure to join us for that. You can always email us at extratime@mlsnet.com. Join us next week and we'll kick it around.